world has turned and faced the sun once again, so that's the time for some Qigong. Welcome. And with today's forms class, we're going to incorporate some Qigong that I've learned via YouTube channel. Brother Insight, Brother Thich Man Tue is his name. And this Qigong is very approachable and very potent. And so I've chosen a couple of the exercises or the moves that he shares in his very succinct short videos that I've been sharing some of the links, and I find it very inspiring. So I'll share some of those with you guys today, but we got to warm up first. So let's first and foremost, let's make our Wuji posture. Get ourselves nice and rooted in the earth. That means our feet are flat on the ground. And then our knees make a soft bend above the ankles. And we slightly tuck the tailbone and engage the pelvic floor muscles. Kind of like we're winking our anal sphincters a little bit. Then our shoulder blades roll back and melt down the back, lifting our neck, lengthening the head, and the ears start to reach up towards the ceiling, very tip top of the head, pulled up towards the ceiling, and then little tangerines in the armpits hollow out and allow the elbows to kick out away from the torso. Plenty of chi flow all the way down to the fingertips. Feel your feet, feel them flat on the ground, connecting and communicating with the earth. Imagine these feet start to melt like ice cubes on a hot sidewalk. They melt and widen. And these pools start to grow roots, reaching down through the foundation, reaching down into the dirt, reaching down, giving us stability, but also the big toes and the arches reach big, thick roots down into the earth, drinking up all the moisture we need, connecting directly with the earth's core. Then this wonderful vibration of life and support from the earth rises up those roots like a golden vibration. It fills up our pools of feet, it fills up our legs, fills up our pelvis. This golden energy fills up the torso, pours down into the arms, fills up into the head. Bring the attention to the top of the head and imagine a little door or portal opening at the very tip top of the head, and a silver light shining out, reaching out into the cosmos, interacting with the sun and the moon, the planets, the stars and galaxies. This twinkly light shines in with that silver light. It shines in through the top of the head and sparkles into the whole body, even down into the roots. Connected deeply into Mother Earth, connected expansively into Father Sky. Conduit between the two of them. Allow yourself to see and feel this golden light start to wrap around you. This golden light provides protection and support, allowing only the benevolent and beneficial things to get to you, while blocking anything detracting, anything distracting, giving you a protected experience within a protected space. Good, just feel and notice, be rooted, be tethered up high, and then be surrounded, enveloped. Good, let's pull down the heavens 3 times. We're going to grow our fingers and our hands really long. We're going to reach into that dirt, reach into that earth energy, and gather all that golden energy in our palms, overflowing out of our hands. We continue inhaling and gather all that cosmic light, those sparkly, twinkly stars. And we pull the combination of both those energies right through us, through the head, through the torso, through the legs, through our roots into the earth. And we gather again, growing real long fingers, real long hands, scooping feeling the weight of the earth chi, feeling the sparkly, different kind of energy of the heavens, and then pull down the combination of the two. More time. Very grounding, rooting, brings us into the present. Yeah. Brings my mom's screen instead of my screen. Anyway, all right. So our feet are in our Wuji posture. We want to go just a little bit wider to this next warm-up. Want to have a little bit wider stance. And oftentimes when I do this pivoting, twisting around the spine, we let our arms kind of just go noodly and kind of wrap around us. But in this case, we want them to be a little more specific. We want to have our front hand come and impact the chest where the shoulder and the chest meet, and then our back hand come in and interact with the bottom of the ribs where the kidneys are. And we're also going to sit onto one side each time we rotate side to side. We're going to sit onto that side's leg, make a little square with our knee and our foot and the floor, and lift up the toe of the opposite side. Just give us this like a little bit of a dance back and forth. Instead of staying nice and solid and just twisting on the spine, it's a different experience, right? So as we come to one side, that arm comes in and taps the chest. We just let ourselves start to get into a rhythm with it. Breathing, and try and go along with your movements, or just really slow it down. Just let the movements be the movements and your breath be nice and slow and easy. Used to that other twist, you can feel the difference here. All your organs kind of stay in line, and we're still invigorating them. Up and down. Brings more chi in. Toes up like that, give an exit. One more here. Really shake that out. Shake your legs a little bit. Let's warm up the waist. Bring our feet in a little bit again so they're more in that Wuji posture. And start to just warm up the waist with these circles. Inhaling and exhaling. Switching directions. And warming up the hands and the backs of the hands, wrists. Warmth there. Do this because this is definitely used a lot, our arms and our forearms, but also represents the neck and the head. By bringing this warmth and movement here, we start to warm up the neck, which we're going to warm up next. Relaxing that, just bringing the chin to the shoulder, rotating around the cervical spine, and doing it nice and slow. Feeling the extent that you can reach with this rotation. Maybe you notice go a little further on one side compared to the other. And allow your shoulders to reach down towards the floor. Good. With your nose towards the neutral, go ahead and bring an ear to the shoulder. Other side, staying facing forward. Felt a few beats each stretch, switching sides. Again, feeling and comparing, noticing one side versus the other. By paying attention to that, we bring more blood flow, more chi flow to those areas that are stuck. Good, and back up to neutral. Rolling the shoulders. I like to use the whole body to get into this shoulder roll. Actually, give my spine an opportunity to get some C curve action. Start out a little bit smaller, and then my circles get big. I'll switch directions. Good, and one more time up and back. Push those shoulders down into my pockets. Good, getting a little bit wider stance again. Open up the shoulders by basically reaching forward and scooping that up over the head into the back. Scoop with the other arm to the back. Scoop. Scoop. And that rotation in the spine. Look behind you too as you put the arms over and back. Our feet together, our last one. Bring the hands over the head, making like a halo or a circle. Start with it on the top of the head. And we just make a circle with that circle. Come out and around, bring it back on top of the head. So we can kind of look at the circle when it's out in front of us and bring it on top of our head. Finish. And switching directions. Good, relaxing that down. Inhale, grab a hold of the field of your mind. Right? It starts in your brain and goes outward. So inhale, grab a hold of it with your palms and bring it down into your belly, bringing your mind down into your belly. Good, do that again. Go down into your low belly. Feel, notice. Good, check that out. Check out your feet. All right, so the first Qigong exercise that Brother Insight shares and that I really enjoy is called the heavens. And to do this one, it's nice and basic, but also gets the body in this really dynamic movement without moving around too much. It's kind of amazing. So we get into a nice wide horse stance, and we can do the pivoting from our wuji to get there, or we can just step out. Brother Insight is not such a stickler with coming back to that neutral wuji posture like my teacher was. So it's nice to have variety in recognizing how much Qigong really relies on an internal awareness more than on a specific structure or a specific. So we got our nice wide horse stance. And this exercise called the heavens is really about moving a big ball of energy with the palms. So in our nice wide horse stance, we bend the knees just a little bit so that we're dynamic and so that we can easily go from one knee to the next. It's our goal in this wide horse stance. We don't want to be stable and static. We want actually to move. So we take our palms, we start by pushing in one direction, leaning over that knee. We get around that ball and grab it and pull it back in the opposite direction. Going over that knee. We pull it back to the middle of us, pushing to the opposite knee. And we start to allow ourselves to recognize this flow, this rhythm. They're really long and take me out of the screen. So you can guess that the hands kind of change orientation in order to get on top of the ball on either side and come back in the opposite direction. So the spine is moving, the arms are moving. Hips are engaging and relaxing. Think about moving clouds. Or the even slower movements of the cosmos. See if that can't influence how smoothly or how slowly you move from side to side. Flowing, your mind just moving. Just a couple more. Good, and bring your heavenly chi ball back to the center. Hold that chi ball against your belly. Feel a presence in your palms. Feel a presence up your torso. Subtle, our chi. When we do all this warm up, when we do all this movement of all of the channel pathways, and then we stop and we get very quiet, it's actually easy to feel the subtle sensations. It's easier, I should say. Good, shake that out, come out of your horse stance. Kicking the legs, shaking the fingers. Flicking can be really helpful too for helping chi that gets stuck in the wrist or stuck in the elbows. Like, good. This next one is called the buffalo. And it's got some similar movements. We also stay in our horse stance and we go to each side to express the movement, express the chi. And with this one, the really bold pressing usually happens with an exhale. You know, in many other traditions or many other styles of Qigong, as we press, we're usually exhaling and using that pressure of exhaling to give us some oomph with the press. With this one, we're actually inhaling as we press, and we exhale as we open. And I find that it gives me this cool flow that feels like a reverse flow, even though it's circular and a flow like anything else. But doing this breath that feels a little bit opposite, it feels like this cool reverse flow. So I got my wide horse stance again. My feet are kind of like at a 45-degree angle. I don't have them straight facing you. They're out at a little 45. It opens up the hips and makes it easier to bend that knee and be on top of it. We have our feet forward. We go to bend the knee starts to go off of center of the foot, especially when we're moving in that direction. So we keep our feet in this nice 45, and it takes care of the knees, it protects them. All right. So we're going to be focused and emphasize in one direction, and then we'll switch and we'll go in the opposite direction. So align yourself up so that you're facing one of those 45-degree angles. That's kind of your forward direction. And from the ribs and really kind of high up close to the pec muscles is where we want to have our hands and originate. So as we inhale, we're reaching out, and then our hands just drop. we're full of breath, they just fall down. And then we spread them apart to come back onto this back leg. We open up, we look up, we open our chest, and we circle the hands back into the ribs, back into the chest, and we inhale to come forward again. Right? Not a lot of crazy movements. There will be more that have more crazy movements when we continue with further insights in later classes. For this one, we're going to be pretty gentle, pretty simple. But yeah, let's get into this reverse flow. All right, so the hands are up here. We inhale, coming forward, dropping the hands. We exhale, wide. Inhale. It's simple, just let yourself feel the breath. Back knee staying over the foot, making a nice little square with the ground. Notice that the torso stays very upright as we inhale and press. I don't want to lean over. I want to protect the back, protect the core, stay upright. Wide arms, feel your chest really open up where you press in that inhale. Your shoulder blades down. Keep your ears towards the ceiling. A couple more of these. Your exhale, really just come back to that neutral position. Middle of our wide stance. Switch our emphasis, so now we're focused on this other foot. Back on our back leg, ready to inhale, pressing forward. Drop, open to exhale. First started practicing this one, it felt very two-parted. Inhale happening, exhale happening. And as I was practicing, I noticed that it's a really great circle. It doesn't need to have two parts to be just one whole movement. Just have to let my breath get into a nice circle. Couple more. Good. After your exhale, go ahead and relax into a neutral position. Out the legs and the elbows. Let's go ahead and grab onto our brain field, our mind field, and pull it down into the body. Feel it. Feel that awareness descend. Of the way Brother Insight speaks. Talks about bringing the mind down into the body, make the body feel good. Cool, shake that. All right, the third one. Got the complicated ones whirring through my head, and that's not the ones that I want. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna wave hands like clouds. Then this wonderful moving of the heavens, and this this great kind of coursing across the plains as the buffalo. And now we're going to be kind of the dust that gets stirred up that becomes part of the particulates that become the clouds, and also that settle back down. And do so all with the influence and demonstration of our arms and our hands. So roughly Wuji posture is helpful for this one. So making sure that the joints are nice and relaxed, that there's hollows in the armpits, a nice long neck. Chi is coming all the way down to the fingertips. And for this exercise, for waving hands like clouds, we really focus on the elbows driving the movement rather than the hands or the wrists. Even though the hands and the wrists do all this beautiful, wonderful movement, they're really just the trailing. They're the tail end of the movement, not the driver. It doesn't matter which arm you start with. As you inhale, just allow that elbow to come up as you bring the hand in front of the torso, kind of guiding that forearm up. And as we reach the top of where the elbow can go, the forearm extends up and glides through the air, kind of brushing. Let's keep on that same side. Elbow brings it up. Complete the top of the circle with the hands facing and fanning out, and the bottom half of the circle, and driven by the elbow to come back up. Good. Allow this one to come to the quiet side of your body and switch, bringing the hand across, following that elbow. Completes the circle, curving around. Nice place for an inhale as we rise, pressed over the head. And then an exhale to brush down and circle back into inhaling. Now to incorporate both arms, once we reach a peak, that's when the other arm begins. And if our brain wants to start freaking out, we can do that, or we can just breathe and let our arms just do whatever they're going to do. Like this idea of circles being generated and reaching out from your center. Bending the knees. Starts to feel like a sway wants to happen. Led by those elbows. Letting your breath come and go. Just enjoying the dynamism of both of your arms moving in these circles. Once your mind can relax, they almost move of their own volition. Like they want to keep curving and coursing. Good. Don't let yourself think about the movements too much. Try and just feel the breath. Have gratitude for this beautiful body and its ability to be so dynamic, so fluid. Feel your shoulders getting tight and tired. Try and relax them down, melt them down the back. Just do another 2 breaths. My last inhale. Good. Just go ahead and drop that exercise right out the fingertips. Good. Bounce a little bit. Bouncing doesn't feel good, then just keep the shaking going on. If shaking doesn't feel good, then you can just flap. Flapping is really good for the meridians as well. Cool. So let's do a little massage of our meridians and some of our organs to bring all this nice yummy chi that we've generated and brought to the surface and brought to the outside field. And now we're going to help to resaturate it, bring it back into our organs. We'll start by massaging the face. So if you've got glasses on like me, go ahead and take those off for a second. Get a nice amount of warmth, and there's a little sheen of moisture that happens often as well. This is the heart opening up, giving you more of its heat. It's the element of fire. It has channel pathways that come to the palms. Good, just start to massage the face. Massaging the jaw muscles. Really pressing the heels into the jaw muscles is really nice. We do so much talking and chewing, and don't necessarily get a chance to really massage the masseters. And then we'll run our 10 dragons across the scalp, through the forest, our hair. We inhale, we imagine these dragons kind of reaching into our brain, reaching in through our skull, taking out any exhaustion, any tiredness, gathering it around to the collarbones and just pulling it straight out. Got joints here that are great exits. That's why sometimes you can get popping happening in the collarbones, a good exits for chi stagnation. Again, 10 dragons through the forest. You're feeling your fingers penetrate into your skull, gathering, grabbing, and releasing. One more time. Good. A little soft fist on the top of the shoulder, base of the neck. Down the arm. Inside of the arm. Sometimes we'll do this to begin, to really warm ourselves up. But the exercises we did that already, warmed us up nice and well. So now we get to make sure that we're open and flowing. So we go to our work day across the chest, or our fun day. We've got lots of chi to bring to it. Down our sternum. And spending a little extra time around the belly and the navel, supporting digestion. Good, and tenderizing the thighs. Cupping the hands on top of the kneecaps. Just going to where your back feels comfortable. The side body. Taking those ribs, some support, love handles, gluteus medius, a lot of tension in the hips and in the IT bands often, and bipeds tend to hold a lot of tension in our structure. Head in the back, tie up the low back as we can. A little extra time at the sacrum, tops of the hamstrings, very tight places. Being gentle behind the knees, giving the calves what for. Good. Nice and fuzzy, nice and saturated. Cool. Let's go ahead and gather all the rest of this chi that we've generated that's kind of filtered out into our field and put it into our bio battery, our dantian. And we'll wrap it up for this morning. So from our Wuji posture, right, so that all the joints are open and all the chi is flowing well and easily. We imagine we are gathering the chi around with our palms as we inhale, gathering up over the head, out in front of the forehead. As we exhale, we just drift this accumulation right down into the low belly. We put one hand on top of the other as we press it in. Notice, gather again, and press. One final time. Really feel that field under your palms. Feel the presence of your chi in your low belly. Feel it radiate from that area into all the rest of your body, all the corners, the nooks and crannies, all radiant with this extra chi that we just buried into our dantian. Very cool. All right, we're ready to go face the day and conquer. I'm gonna